Hi, everyone. This is Dr. Cheryl Selman, and welcome to What Women Must Know. This is a show empowering you with truthful information so you can make the most informed decisions possible regarding your health and the health of your loved ones. And thank you for joining me for another great conversation that I'm having with a wonderful guest today. Before I go there, however, please visit me on my Facebook page, What Women Must Know, or go to my website, drcherylselman.com, because I post the archive shows of all the interviews that I do on a weekly basis. And I have a second program on Progressive Radio Network every Saturday at 11 a.m. called The Love Code, which is more of a spiritual, transformational, healing focus. And I hope you'll join me there because that show is so enlightening, as is What Women Must Know. So I'm so glad that you're listening, joining in, and hopefully you'll be a regular listener. So let me just jump into our conversation today because we're going to be talking about a subject that's actually quite important to talk about. We're talking about the bra and breast cancer connection. And if that seems a little strange or it's an unfamiliar topic, or if you have had or know of anyone who has had breast cancer, it's certainly a topic you want to be listening to. And my guest today to explore this really important topic is Sid Singer. And a little bit about Sid. He is a medical anthropologist, director of the Institute for the Study of Culturogenic Disease, and a pioneer of applied medical anthropology. Using his training in medicine, biochemistry, and anthropology, Sid, along with his co-researcher and wife, Soma, have made numerous groundbreaking discoveries into the cultural causes of disease. They became breast cancer researchers when Soma discovered a lump in her breast and performed the world's first study into the link between bras and breast cancer, published in the book Dress to Kill. For 30 years, Sid and Soma have been warning women about the hazards of bras, with dozens of studies internationally now confirming the bra cancer link. Their work has transformed the bra industry and the culture and has saved millions of women from experiencing breast pain, cysts, and cancer. What a powerful conversation we're having today. So it's my pleasure to welcome Sid Singer to the show. Hello, Sid, and welcome to What Women Must Know.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
You know, I mentioned this briefly before we went on to the show, but I knew of your first book, Dress to Kill, which was decades ago written, and I never had the good fortune to meet you back then or to interview back then, but it was a book that was, made a huge impression on women. It kind of alerted women to something they probably hadn't really thought about ever before, and is playing an important role in this education process for women so they can make better choices. So first of all, I just want to acknowledge you for that commitment you've had for all these decades on this mission to support the health and well-being of women. We all thank you from the bottom of our hearts.
Well, thank you. We felt an obligation to get the word out. I mean, once you discover something as profound and as simple as this, something that women can do right now to improve their breast health and reduce other problems caused by bras besides just breast problems. It's when you know that information, you just feel you have to share it and get it out. And now we're very gratified to see that there are a lot of bras that are looser, less damaging to the breasts. They even are based on our research. There are several bra patents based on our research, and there are even some research studies on breast cancer that are asking about bra usage as a routine question like family history, which is what they should be doing. It's like asking about smoking when you're studying lung cancer or lung disease. You have to know what the person's doing to themselves. And that's what we study as medical anthropologists, what people do to themselves because of their culture. And as a result, it's often taken for granted as being okay, something you don't really question, like bra usage. It seems normal, and just mentioning it 30 years ago, it's different today, fortunately. 30 years ago, just mentioning it, or even saying something like breast massage to relieve congestion in the breast was so risque. And it's still even illegal in some places to do a breast massage. This is a very strange culture that has issues with the breasts. So it's been a challenge and very rewarding one. And I'm really glad to share this information with your audience today.
Well, let's go back to the beginning a bit and learn about what got you involved. We mentioned a little bit in the intro that your wife discovered a lump in her breast, but how did that lead to your passion and commitment in educating people, the industry, the health field about this bra piece of the puzzle? So let's start there with your story.
Well, briefly, what happened was Soma and I were studying another issue in Fiji, and it was a very remote island in Fiji. I had just left medicine, the medical school, very disillusioned with the medical model. I have a background in biochemistry. I have graduate training in biochemistry, anthropology, and in medicine. And I was seeing how medicine was so inadequate in addressing the cause of disease. And when there are cultural causes, many people within the medical world actually participate in those same cultural patterns. And like many female doctors will wear bras, or back in the 50s they smoked. So you're dealing with an industry that's a product of the culture as well. So I decided to really look at the cause of disease so that people can eliminate the cause and let their bodies heal. And the cause is usually in your lifestyle and what you're doing to yourself unconsciously often. So we were in Fiji studying a different issue, and Soma discovered this lump in her breast. But interestingly, a week earlier than that, we were on this remote island, and she was hanging out a bra that she had with her on the clothesline. And a girl came over. She was an adolescent girl, never really saw a bra before. And she was looking at it and, stretching it. And she said, "Why do you wear this?" And Soma didn't know what to say. She never was really asked that. But she said, "Well, it's something women in my culture do that they think of as a normal thing to do." And the girl said, "Well, isn't it tight?" And Soma thought about that. And she said, "Well, I suppose it is, but you get used to it." And then a week later, we discovered this lump, and we went back to the States. She was pregnant at the time, and we were very concerned, and we went back to the States to just try to figure out what happened. What could she have possibly done that could have contributed to this? Because she's a healthy woman, vegetarian diet, good exercise, outdoor living, all that. There was no reason for her to have any problems, we thought. So when we got home, she took off her bra and clothes and went into the shower, and after a long flight from Fiji. And we were looking at her body and her breasts for clues of what could be causing this. And we saw the typical marks and indentations women have in their skin left by the bra. And we had seen those like all the time. But now, we took them for granted as, well, that's what a bra does. We never thought about it. Now we were looking for clues. And it seemed like an obvious clue of constriction, that means this was tight. And then the question is, well, what is that cause? What's wrong with wearing something tight? And what happens is when you wear something tight, it interferes with the lymphatic system. And the lymphatic system is like your second circulatory system. The one everybody knows about is your bloodstream, which delivers nutrients through the blood to your tissues, and fluid oozes out of the capillaries and feeds the cells the nutrients that it needs. And the cells release their waste products, and most of this fluid has to travel through another system called the lymphatic system, which is your immune system circulatory pathway. And it removes cellular debris, viruses, bacteria, and even cancer cells and waste products. All these toxins in our bodies get eliminated through this fluid that flushes through your tissues and including the breasts, very much in the breasts. And it goes through these tiny, microscopic, easily compressed lymphatic vessels that take it to the lymph nodes. And for the breasts, most of that's in the armpit. And after that, an immune response is created if necessary, because that's what the lymph nodes do. They're like factories for the immune system to produce white blood cells. And eventually, the fluid returns back to the heart. But the problem is, if you wear anything tight, especially anything that's squeezing into your skin, obviously like a bra, what it does is it compresses these easily compressed vessels, and that impairs the flow of lymph. So you've created this resistance to the cleansing of the tissues and impair its immunity, because you can't protect and fight disease and cancer. We have cancer cells developing all the time in our bodies, but we fight them off with our immune system constantly and effectively, usually, if your body can circulate properly. You have proper circulation. So when you constrict any part of the body, you impair that circulation and you set yourself up for becoming toxic, swollen with fluid, and eventually it causes disease. And for the breasts, what happens is it causes pain, and the fluid, you're having basically lymphedema of the breasts from the bra. And then the fluid would collect and form cysts. And many women get these aspirated with a needle the doctor will take a needle and stick it into the cysts and pull out the fluid, and repeatedly have to do this throughout a woman's life until she gets rid of the bra, we've discovered, and then they go away. But these cysts develop and they become fibrous with time, with fibrous tissue develops, and that's how fibrocystic breast disease is created. It should be called tight bra syndrome. And then over time, it keeps up, you can develop cancer because of the increased toxin load to the tissue and reduced immunity. So that was a theory that we developed, and then we looked and we thought, well, first thing we thought is, if this is true, obviously somebody else must have looked. It's so obvious. I mean, if you're looking at the breast and you're wondering, gee, what could we be doing that might be interfering with breast health? The first thing that should come to mind is the bra. Just like if you were looking at feet and you were wondering why your feet are hurting, you should think about your shoes. And if, coughing, if you're smoking, I mean, there's sort of a connection. So it seemed like an obvious connection, but we couldn't find in the early 90s any research relating to this. It's like there was a hole in the research on breast disease. Now, there were studies that showed bras cause other problems. Tight bras can cause, if you've seen women with large breasts who think they need bras because of their breast size, which is totally false, what ends up happening is they're holding these large breasts by the bras. You look in their shoulders, and there'll be these deep grooves that these women have. And those grooves are so much pressure from the bra that it makes these permanent grooves, and that compresses nerves and actually can cause tingling in your hands and numbness and headaches and all sorts of problems. And bras have been associated with all of that. But nobody seemed to have looked at the cancer link. We found, by the way, now with the internet making searching a lot easier, including of older documents, we have a new edition of Dress to Kill. The first one came out in 1995. A new one in 2018, updated, where we found that in the 1930s, they knew about bras causing breast cancer. We found patents for new bras in the 50s that were saying bras cause cancer and this bra is better for whatever reason. And even Dr. Mayo, who started the Mayo Clinic, he knew bras caused breast cancer. There was an article where he discusses that in the 1930s. And they also knew that impaired lymphatics causes cancer. That was all understood back then. And, but it's been forgotten. And what happens is now, the breast cancer has become such an industry that there's such resistance to even dealing with this bra issue because it invalidates all this research that ignores bras. It's like if you were looking up lung cancer research and it didn't ask if people smoked or not, which was a flaw in the studies back in the 20th century, in the mid-20th century. Doctors thought smoking was good for you, and they ignored that in research and fought the realization that cigarettes do cause cancer because there was a lot of the tobacco industry is powerful. Doctors were smoking themselves. It's an embarrassment that they ignored this. It invalidates, it makes the experts look stupid. There's a lot of politics in science and medicine, and a lot of political and economic issues that control it. And the bra issue has taken on the same dimensions. But we didn't know that back in the 90s, and what we did was we did our own study. And we looked at 5,000, almost 5,000 U.S. women from 5 major cities. About half of them had breast cancer. And we thought, okay, do they wear bras any differently? Is there any, if bras are causing this, then women who don't have breast cancer should have a different bra wearing behavior than women who did get breast cancer. And we asked about their bra wearing habits, how long each day, how tight, and things like that, why they wear them. And we discovered that basically there's a huge link. Bra-free women have about the same risk of breast cancer as men. And the longer and tighter a bra is worn, the higher the risk rises, to over 100 times higher for a 24/7 bra user compared to a bra-free woman. And that was, it was exciting, and seemed like very important information that women obviously needed to know. And we then set out trying to notify the world about this. And then we were very naive. We were in our 30s at the time. And, we thought the world was they really wanted the answer to a major cause of breast cancer. And we discovered that wasn't necessarily the case. While many women were very happy to hear about this and immediately stopped wearing their bras, some women resisted it like it was such a challenge to their identity as a woman. And, breast shape and breast issues are beaten to a woman's mind early on, as you know. And the insecurities and disempowerment lead women to feeling like they just need them to be acceptable in public. So when you raise this subject, they find it threatening, some women, at least back then. And some medical doctors, while privately saying this makes a lot of sense, it's very interesting, publicly they couldn't because the big guys, the big cancer interests were like, the American Cancer Society, who we notified about our results. They completely ignored it. They didn't want to have anything to do with it. And subsequently, over the years, I've found out, why I've spoken with them. And because there have now been dozens of studies worldwide confirming the link that except in the United States, they're really still resisting. They don't want to talk about it. They're saying it's a myth. They don't want women to even deal with that aspect of breast disease prevention, to consider the tight clothing. Although they admit after you get your lymph nodes removed, once they take off your breasts from cancer, that you shouldn't wear a bra or anything tight like that, a tight bra, because that could interfere with your lymphatics and cause lymphedema and all sorts of problems. Of course, it could do that before you get cancer too, but they don't talk about that. There's been a taboo. But we persevered nevertheless, feeling like, this information, I could not understand how anybody in the healing sciences, healing arts, could resist just calling for further research, just saying, this is interesting, let's look at this. That's all we were trying to warn people, let's do further research. This looks very promising. But there was tremendous resistance. So we ultimately did a second study ourselves in Fiji this time, and we found, going from village to village, half of the women there were bra-free back then when we did this in the 90s. And we found about 25 cases of breast cancer histories, and all of them were in bra users. What would happen is if these women would live in the villages, they were all pretty much related, and they would have the same diet and the same environment. But if they worked in the resort nearby, they'd have to wear a bra to look more westernized. And those are the women who were getting breast disease, and they're working women, they're teachers, they're, nurses, they're professional women, because they felt that the professional woman's look needed to have a bra-clad breast, which our culture sometimes believes too, but it's changing. But they believed you have to wear a bra to look professional. So the ones who did wear them, they're the ones getting breast disease. It was pretty clear. And then there have been other studies since all over the world that are confirming this. So we then discovered basically it's not just cancer. It's when women got rid of their bras, their cysts went away, and their pain went away, and they had other problems went away as well. And we've since, and we're actually right now doing an ongoing international bra-free study with women now from over 36 countries participating, where they just get, it's free, a free study to participate. And I can give you the, how people can join this online. It's just, you just say, I'm going to stop wearing a bra, and which is what you need to do to see what harm it's been doing to you, if any. And then you tell us what your results are, how you feel. We call these self-studies, where you change your lifestyle and then you assess what changes you feel. You're doing it yourself, on yourself. And it's remarkable what changes women have felt. But I'll come up for air now, and because I've said so much.
Well, yeah, that's a huge overview. Gosh, lots of questions. I want to start with this one. Historically, Sid, when did bras come into fashion and then become necessities? And before you answer that, I just have to add, I know that, and I was probably one of those young preteen girls that get their training bras, right? Training bras. So before young girls even are developing, or maybe just a little bit, they get a training bra. I guess it's training them to have bras the rest of their lives.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's just an interesting aside. But yeah, what's the history behind this kind of fetish with bras, which have become fashion statements and statements of sexuality and, femininity and all of that?
I'm really glad you called it what it is, because I've been calling it a fetish garment. It is a fetish garment. Well, in bras, throughout history, there have been times where different cultures have bound the breasts one way or the other. And if you look at the history of cancer, breast cancer, it coincides with those cultures. If you've had bra-free cultures, there's a book called Tyranny of the Bra by an historian, Fred Harding, who just came out like last year, that talks about the history of the bra and how it's associated with breast disease. So it's not the first time we've altered body shape. I mean, it seems like humans really are into transforming the body for what we consider culturally aesthetic reasons. In the 30s, women with the flapper age, in the 1920s, women were wanting to look very boyish, and they bound their breasts. I mean, they had short hair, they were thin, and they bound their breasts to de-accentuate them. And what happened was the breast disease and breast cancer was rampant, and doctors recognized that as caused by the bra, and any constriction to the breast was causing problems. Then the bras became lift and separate rather than squish down, and it was cheered that this should help solve the problem, but it didn't. And then, you have the bullet bras, and you have the Howard Hughes with Jane Russell and that bra, he was into that, and he actually designed a bra, Howard Hughes. And then you get, into the push-up bras and with the 70s. And actually, when Dress to Kill came out in 1995, that's when the Wonder Bra came out, the same year, which was trying to create cleavage. And it was so obvious to see that if you can't change the shape of the body without altering its function. And when you take the breasts and you try to put them in a different place, you have to apply pressure to keep it in that place. And if you're applying pressure, you're interfering with circulation. So you need to not wear tight clothing anywhere, and you need to allow the body in the breasts even to move. And the movement of the breasts helps pump the lymphatics, because the lymphatics have one-way valves to keep it moving in one direction, and it's a passive system. So there's no pressure like the heartbeat behind it. So what helps the lymphatics move is deep breathing, massage, exercise, anything that like presses the tissue to push the fluid in the lymphatics forward into the next segment. And can't go backwards because of these one-way valves. So as you walk and your breasts have a natural sway to them, that helps actually pump them. So when women immobilize their breasts for exercise, in a sports bra, sports bras are very tight and they're not good for you, but women will wear them because they want to control their breast movement. But that kind of control deprives you of the benefit of the exercise, by the way. You haven't asked me about how do you exercise without a bra. I'm giving you the answer to that now, because that's an important question that women are going to want to know. Like, what do I do when I work out then? Can I never wear a bra? And should I answer that? Would you like being too rhetorical?
Let's answer that. It's
okay.
Up for answering.
Okay. Well, the answer, I have two answers to that. I think first, if you want to wear a bra, if you're large-breasted and you need a bra for support for an hour or so, there's no big deal. I mean, some men might want to wear a jock strap, although I don't think they wear those anymore. But when I was a young man, men felt they needed jock straps for testicular control. Well, if a woman feels she needs breast control while she's exercising, she could wear a sports bra. But realize that you better take it off right afterwards. Don't wear them. They're not normal daily wear. And they're constrictive, very constrictive. And the other thing is, so you might want to massage your breasts when you take it off. The other thing is, you really should choose sports activities that complement your body. And if you're, for example, a very heavy person, you don't want to start jogging, which will destroy your joints, your knees, your ankles, your hips. You know, you want to be sensitive to your body type. So if you happen to be a large-breasted woman, you might be better off with some exercises that aren't as bouncy, that could make you feel uncomfortable. Like you could swim, you could do yoga, you can bicycle, canoeing. There's a lot of things you can do, walking, that give you good exercise without it being too jarring. So you have to adapt your body. You have to adapt your lifestyle to your body. You don't adapt your body to your lifestyle. Just as fashions, they should fit your body. You shouldn't try to make your body fit the fashions. And that's the problem that's been happening. And we've turned women, because women's breasts are basically, they're viewed as sex objects. It objectifies women, and women become alienated from their own bodies. And, it leads to this type of problem where you do something to your body that doesn't feel right, but you feel you have to because of the objectification of the breasts. And fortunately, that's changing, though. Women are getting rid of the bra, especially millennials. And the pandemic has been great for breast health because women are staying at home and working at home, and they don't need to wear a bra. And they're not. And there are articles online. If you look up braless, you'll see tons of articles about how it's good to be bra. It feels great. It's comfortable. Why bother wearing a bra at work, at home, So they're trying it. And once you try it, it's hard to get it back to wear a bra again because this is why I tell women you really need to go a month without a bra to know what damage has been done and to baseline your breast health and feeling. Like you want to know what the healthy breasts look like that are not congested with fluid because of constriction. So you get rid of the constriction and you let your breasts feel as healthy as in a month. You can go more than that, but at least a month. And you go through your menstrual cycle if you're premenopausal, and you'll see the difference. You'll feel the difference. Breast tenderness is less during the menstrual, before the period. A lot of women experience breast tenderness. That is much reduced or completely eliminated when they stop wearing bras, and that's because the breasts are a little swollen because of hormones at that time of the month, and they're wearing the same size bra, so it's even tighter. And that's why their pain and cysts often get exacerbated at that time of the month. And when they stop wearing bras, I've had women tell me that I used to know my period was coming because my breasts were tender. And now I can't tell anymore because my breasts aren't getting tender now that I'm not wearing a bra. So these are some of the other things we discovered, the bra, after our study. Just anecdotally, women were telling us all these great experiences they were having once they stopped constricting their breasts. I want to tell you the results of the international preliminary findings of our international bra-free study, because this shows how it goes beyond. So it's not just breast cancer. Bras are a leading cause of breast pain and cysts, and more than half the women have these problems. And according to the bra industry, 90% of women are wearing the wrong size bra anyway. So they're saying it's your fault, you're wearing it too tight, instead of it's the bra's fault. because it's intrinsically a tight garment meant to change breast shape, and therefore it is tight by design. I don't think you can have a properly fitted push-up bra. I mean, to me that's an oxymoron. You can't properly fit something that's meant to be too tight. It's just that way. So we discovered, though, when women stop wearing bras, the first thing that everyone discovers is they could breathe easier, actually inhale deeper, because there's not a constricting band around their rib cage. And there have been studies that show that tight band, when you have women wear tight underwear, it actually including bra, it causes effects on the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system, the autonomic nervous system. It changes core body temperature. It slows digestion wearing a bra. It reduces melatonin secretion. It causes menstrual problems. Women have told me they stopped wearing the bra and their cycles got regulated. And I've seen studies showing that so there are hormonal full body effects. And the way I make sense of it is if you have to wear, if you think about it this way, you're wearing a tight, uncomfortable band around your chest where you breathe. And subconsciously, that's uncomfortable. And your body is stressed from it. So you're basically getting a subconscious stress response that you learn to ignore. And that stress changes your heart rate, your breathing rate. I mean, it actually is changing your whole body wearing this uncomfortable thing. And that's why so many women can't wait till they get home at the end of the day. They rip off the bra and they, thank God I can take this thing off. I mean, that's before COVID, that is. Now they can just do it at home. But they could say, they could take off the bra as the first thing they want to do. And that's because it's so uncomfortable. Their bodies want relief from that constriction. So the other thing is women say that their self-esteem and body sense improves once they stop wearing a bra, because the bra is sort of a garment of shame. Women wear it because they feel inadequate without it. So every time they put on their bra, they're telling themselves, I'm not beautiful the way I am. My breasts aren't adequate. It's part of a disempowerment process. And when they stop doing that and accept their breasts for what they are and themselves as beautiful the way they are, that self-acceptance helps them get over this body image disorder that feeds bra usage, and other things women do to themselves for culturally defined beauty standards.
So I have a couple of questions. First of all, in the understanding of causes that contribute to breast cancer, it's also known that exposure to toxicity, to long-term stress, to impaired physiological function like impaired detoxification pathways in the body are all contributors to this manifestation of imbalance that looks like cancer. So in the scheme of things, all the factors that are contributing to this chronic impairment of function of the body, how do you rate all those other factors in relationship to breast wearing, bra wearing? How do you place all those things?
Well, the things that you said are what a bra does. I mean, it toxifies the body by inhibiting the removal of toxins. You see, you're exposed to these petrochemical pollutants in our food, air, and water, in drugs we take. When these chemicals, some of which are cancer-causing chemicals, course throughout the body, they have to be flushed out by the lymphatics. And if you're wearing a constricted bra, then your breasts are not flushing it out adequately, so they're concentrating this toxin inside the breast tissue. Plus, the tissue is congested, so it's low in oxygen, low in sugar, and high in metabolic waste. So the pathways for removing toxins is interfered with by the constricted bra. So the toxins cause cancer. The bra concentrates them and targets them into the breast. Because you think about all the garments a woman wears, the bra is the tightest one. And what's the highest organ for disease in a woman? I mean, it's the breast. So we're getting, this type of a problem because you can't constrict any organ and expect it to be healthy. So you do need channels for healing, and the immune system has to be able to reach the tissue and cleanse it out and remove debris and And that all is done through the lymphatics. So I think medicine has failed by ignoring the effect of tight clothing on circulation. That cultural factor, and it's because medicine is blind to the fact that we are, even though it knows it and it would admit this is true, we are cultural animals. We are not rats, lab rats or lab monkeys or lab dogs or cats or tissue culture or anything like that where they study breast cancer. You can't, rats don't wear bras. And the model in medicine is animal research, which is the primary model, to come up with drugs to treat disease. That's what they do, and in that model. And when you look at cultural impacts, like, well, wait a minute, not all breasts are the same. A woman's breast that's been constricted since puberty, and she's 40 years old now, and she's been wearing a bra for 30 years, every day, maybe 18 or more hours a day, and you compare that to a woman who's never worn a bra, there'll be a huge difference in health. And, so we have to rethink about what the culture is doing to us that's making us change our actual physiology. These are impacts that are ignored by medicine because they're not medical issues. They're cultural issues. Medicine has a hard time dealing with some of the obvious culturogenic disease, culture-caused diseases of, like, let's say, alcohol and tobacco. I mean, both of those are huge killers. They're poisons, and yet we do it. We go to medicine to clean it up. Medicine has a conflict of interest of, they make money when you're sick, not when you're well, and you can't rely on them to teach you how to prevent disease by changing your lifestyle. They might mention it in passing, but they make their money treating it with medicine, with medications and surgery, not with lifestyle change. And when you mention lifestyle change, they may think, yeah, that's good, but they have no control over that. And many people don't want to change. They want a magic pill. Yeah. They've been conditioned to thinking that their health care is the doctor's responsibility, not their own. And I've been telling people,
Sid, I need to jump in because there's some really important questions I want to make sure we get to. I think it's pretty much understood with my audience, my community, of the failings of the traditional medical model, why it's not really supporting us. But the question that I think is important in our conversation, most women who are conditioned, I'm probably one of them, that feels like you need a bra to feel presentable, to look good, especially for women who do have large breasts. What are the safe bras to wear? I don't know if women are going to just be, throwing out their bras and getting on with their daily lives without that kind of cultural and fashion accessory. As much as it'd be great to go back to the CG jungle, but, that's not where we're at. But I think you did say that there are companies that are designing bras that are safer and more breast friendly. So tell us more about some solutions we can do.
Well, apart from bra free, which is the best, is there are lots of companies now that are make bralettes, which are basically non-constrictive breast coverings. It's almost like wearing a camisole. I mean, there are alternatives to covering your breasts. I think nipple protrusion is a big issue for some women. They're worried that their nipple showing is somehow an issue. I want to point out as an anthropologist that you really do need to question this insanity of feeling inadequate because of these standards that we've inherited from our culture. We need to change these things. It isn't, but, so I don't like the solution of like a filtered cigarette solution because, you're really being led to slaughter by these industries that know about this and are deliberately, mostly the medical, and covering it up. The lingerie industry has reacted with some new patented bras that, one was supposed to massage your breasts as you move. That one didn't go anywhere, but I think there's a new one I just saw recently similar to that has these protrusions inside that are supposed to massage you. Other ones just got rid of the underwire. They're trying to make the bra more ergonomic. But So you can get looser, non-underwire bra for sure. Nothing to change the shape of your breasts. You don't want to lift them. If you just want to cover them for some sort of protective feeling, then you can cover them, but don't change their shape, because that's when you start applying pressure. Make sure it doesn't leave a red mark or indentation in your skin, and you know it's not too tight. You shouldn't be able to snap it. I hate elastic because it holds on by constriction. It's meant to be tight. It's against your skin. And the problem, that's the problem with elastic and with bras. So you want to make it as little elastic as possible. Elastic, by the way, also breaks down into monomers that are carcinogenic. So you want to, the bra itself can deliver toxins to your breasts. It's worn so intimately. And many bras have, many fabrics have carcinogens in them. I'm sure you must have done a show on that, where, you know, all the things in the clothes from formaldehyde to lots of stuff. Even the dyes, and these things can leach onto your skin, not to mention detergents and everything else when you wash it. Anything in the fabric, it's going to be intimately associated in contact with your skin and sweat. So you're going to absorb a lot of these chemicals. So you want to make sure that it's like organic cotton. Some bra companies are that's their emphasis is no toxins in the garment. So they're emphasizing that part. You know, bra companies have come to me over the years saying, I really appreciate your information. We think we have a better bra. And they asked me to comment on it. And, you know, to me, I've never endorsed the bra because I didn't feel like that's my place. I just want to warn women about the issue. And I'm glad the companies are trying to accommodate it. But if there's still a lot of them that said they wanted, they look at their bra, it's the same thing. It's got an underwire, it's tight. And there's another intrinsic problem with bras. Your breasts are not symmetric, but the bra is. So one of your breasts is going to be loose and one's going to be tight relative to the other, to the bra. You know what I'm saying? So most women, the left breast is larger than the right breast. So if you have a bra in which both cups are the same size, and which one are you going to fit it to? Are you going to fit the bra to your big breast or to your little breast? And, you know, unless you're a wealthy person that gets custom tailored bras, your breast size is not going to be properly accommodated by the bra. So that's just another intrinsic problem. And another problem about bras, if you want to wear them, keep this in mind, you need two sizes at least if you're menstruating. Because, like I said, part of the month your breasts are bigger. So you need a bigger bra, or you're going to be even more constricted during those times. So, you know, so if bralettes have become extremely popular in the last few years. Women are wearing sports bras as an alternative, but they're not good. They're too tight, and they're meant to be very constrictive. So you should only use those as a specialty garment for high activity and only use it during the activity. And then otherwise make sure it's organic, like I said, the fibers being, you know, it doesn't have to be organic, but be aware that there are toxins in this stuff potentially. So you might want a brand that emphasizes that we're a clean garment and non-constrictive. No matter what the product is, it could still be worn too tightly. It could be a perfect ergonomic bra for a particular shaped breast. And if that's not your breast, or if you have the wrong size, it's a terrible bra. So there's no such thing really as a good bra if it doesn't fit right. And getting them fit is then the real problem. And professional fitters, many of them don't know what they're doing. Although, as an interesting aside, professional fitters have admitted that most women are wearing the wrong size, and that's causing them a lot of pain and problems. And that when they fit them, they say, oh, these women's pain goes away. So all they need is a properly fitted bra. But they're admitting that the bra is a problem. And, you know, and if you wear it wrong, and yet there's no warning label on a bra. They tell you how to wash it, but they don't tell you how to wear it. Like, you shouldn't wear it over a certain amount of time every day. Like, you know, how long should you wear a constrictive garment? So our study said no more than by the time you get to 12 hours, your cancer rates start to really go up. Ideally, you wouldn't, you know, you would take it off in as short amount of time as possible. Massage your breasts afterwards to make sure that there's no congestion in the tissue from the pressure. But like I said, really the best thing is to get a baseline of comfort. by getting rid of the bra completely and getting, I know the comfort there, I'm talking physical. The psychological discomfort is really where most women have a problem. They're physically more comfortable without a bra, but they're psychologically not comfortable. And, it takes them a little bit of confidence building to notice that nobody cares and nobody's noticing, because most people don't notice and they don't care. You can also dress with pockets on your shirts that cover the breasts and sort of hide the nipple issue. There are some blouses that actually have like fluffed material near the nipple line, so you can't really see where the nipple is. So wearing loose clothing and vests, sweaters, blazers, things to cover your breast if you're self-conscious. But if you give yourself that time to just stop the constriction and then put the bra back on that you thought was comfortable before, you won't be able to. I mean, I've heard that so many times. I mean, women will say, oh, yeah, I understand what you're saying. It could be for a really tight bra, but my bra is fine. It isn't. You're used to it. You get used to it. Like you said, training bras, they train you to get used to having the harness on. But once you get rid of it and you breathe freely and you move freely and you don't have constriction and something digging into you, you put that same bra back on that you thought was no problem, and you'll say, oh, my God, how did I ever do this? Because they'll say, oh, I'm bra-free, but I had this big event I had to go to. And of course, the fashion industry makes dresses assuming your breasts are in a certain place. So you need to use the bra to get them in that place because they make them unnaturally high. So, okay, I had to wear a bra that night, and boy, was that uncomfortable. I couldn't stand it. I had to take it off like an hour later, and it was terrible. That's what you'll end up finding. So you need to have that baseline of comfort to know how uncomfortable the bra is making you. Otherwise, we really do get used to discomfort. We get used to all sorts of things that are very, very uncomfortable and bad for us that, it becomes second nature and you don't question it anymore. So I hope that answered your question. I mean, it's like saying, I still want to smoke. What's the good filtered cigarette that's safer for me to smoke? And, because smoking is still cool and I feel I can't be a non-smoker right now. And my answer is, as long as you know the risks and you try to minimize it all, do what you want. But I really feel that the real issue is, and it's harder for women who have been wearing a bra for decades, but when you're a young woman and you're just starting, your life as a woman, you want to keep your breasts healthy. I mean, you need to tell your daughters and granddaughters, if you're an older woman, about this so that they know that they need to know. I mean, that's my whole thing. I wish there were warning labels on bras. I mean, they actually use bras to dry up lactating women. You wear a tight bra and you stop lactating. I mean, that's how much effect this has on your physiology. They use bras like as a compression medical device. They'll say erroneously that when you have fibrocystic breasts, you need a supportive bra, like to hold them up because they're so sore. Instead of realizing, they never ask what's causing this. And if you would just remove the bra, they won't be sore anymore. But they've been making that erroneous suggestion all these years. So we have to change the whole culture, the whole assumptions that have been given to us by the bra industry, because they've been working on people and the fashion industry, and they've been working on the minds of all of us, making us feel breast obsessed and inadequate and so forth. So anyway, that's my feeling about the issue. I hope that clarifies that somehow.
So that's great. There are a lot of good points, and I just want to emphasize a few of the things you mentioned for people that I think is really important. First of all, I think it's really important to do breast massage. I mean, women should be checking their breasts anyway, but there are simple lymphatic massage techniques which I've learned that you can actually support the lymphatic flow, and not just of your breasts, but throughout your body. And they take, just a few minutes to do. In fact, there are these lymph brushes that you can move the lymph around your body, but there's so much lymph that is accumulating and flowing around the breast area and that upper chest area. It's one of the major drainage points. So you really want to be putting into your daily routines, like your bath routine, your shower routine, a breast massage. Or better yet, you can learn how to do more of a whole body lymph massage. I think that's a really good point, Sid. The other thing that I believe is a really important point, and that is if we're going to get into the breast, the bra issue, I have friends who have been professional fitters, and their comment all the time, Sid, is that women are wearing the wrong size bra, and generally it's too small. So I said, okay, let's fit me, and it's like, oh my God, it's like that. It's a totally different size, different cup size. It was, the fact that I was trying to squeeze my breast into a smaller size bra, which I never really thought about until they assessed me and measured me. It was quite profound how different the sizing was when I went to a professional fitter. So there are some direct selling companies that work with bras and fit you, or go into any a high-end department store, or if we can still do these things these days. If you're just curious, listening, if you're just curious to know if what you are wearing is the right size, even if you must have been wearing it for years and years, go do the anything, but you may actually find that you are wearing the wrong size. It's impacting the lymph. When you're talking about this, to me, it's like a blinding flash of the obvious, right? It's a blinding flash of the obvious of the impact of compressing your lymph flow through these garments. We don't really think about it, but it's, like you said, if your foot was hurting, you want to investigate your shoes. And we don't really think in that same way when it comes to our breasts or breast cysts or breast pain or even the risk for cancer, which we need to do, which is why you're so passionate about this work over all these years. So I just think it gives women a lot to think about. As we're talking, I went online quickly just to see what kind of options. And there's one thing called a seamless low back cami. It's just a cami top. It's not a bra, but but it's like it's made of cotton, and it kind of supports women. And I just thought, oh, well, that's interesting, because it's more like a t-shirt than it is a bra. So it's able to be worn by itself or under things. It's just looking at what the other options are. I've been seeing television ads here. I'm here in Australia for the time being, and I've been seeing these television ads where I think it's in the U.S. first, obviously, that's involved, but where you kind of don't have the underwire, which is a really bad idea, because that really shuts off that lymph flow. But it's like crisscrossing straps. Have you seen? I don't know how much attention you pay to the different styles of bras going out there, but it's there are more. I think there's more awareness of finding bras, if you're going to be in a bra that actually is kinder and gentler, with less constriction, and no wires. But anyway, I just happened to have seen that being advertised. But I think go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, the bralettes are extremely popular now, and they're just, if the underwire, there are fewer underwire models nowadays. The idea is comfort, and I think that's the change. And in the post-Me Too world that we're in now, where women are, demanding that they be treated with respect and equality, it's becoming where you can't make a woman wear a bra at work anymore, which was one of the things women used to tell me. It's like, oh, I'd love to be bra-free at home all the time, but I have to go to work, and I got to wear a bra to look professional, which makes you should first reflect, why would breast shape have anything to do with professionalism? And, unless you're a prostitute where you have to worry about your breast shape, but it shouldn't matter whether you're, as a woman, what your shape of your breasts are. Like, it doesn't matter whether I'm saggy or not. As a man, I mean, that's not what you go to work for. And there are laws now. I mean, it's considered sexual discrimination, human rights abuse to force women at work to have like high heels and a short skirt and wear a bra. You can't force them to do that. If men don't have to do it, women don't have to. And women are standing up. That's the nice thing about the new generation. I think they're not going to take it the same way. They're demanding the equality, and that there's no reason you should force me to be uncomfortable. And, they're speaking in terms of comfort now. And it's not like women need to be subordinate and needing to subordinate their comfort for fashion. Now they're demanding comfort and questioning it. And, they did that in the 70s too, or the 60s, when women were realizing bras were sexist garments, and they'd had the so-called bra burning period. And by the way, breast cancer rates dropped right after that for a couple of years. But there was times when women said no, and I think we're in one of those now. So what I encourage your listeners to do is join the bra-free study. I mean, we'll give you emotional support. There's a Facebook page that it's a support group called Free the Boobies, and you could join that. And
I'll put that up.
I'm one of the administrators on that, and it's women discussing their experiences going bra-free, and it's a very supportive environment. That's Free the Boobies, and I have a website for the bra-free study called brafreestudy.org. And that's our international bra-free study that you can join for free. And then we just follow your progress and give you some tips on, how you might dress if you have concerns, whatever. We're just there to help support you and create a cohort of bra-free women that is going to be like the healthiest women around. And you can also go to my website, brasandbreastcancer.org. And there you could see references to the studies that show bras cause cancer and get more information. But the most important information for you to get is on your own body by yourself. It doesn't matter what you're reading, what anybody's saying. If you're hurting your breasts by wearing the wrong kind of bra, the wrong tightness of bra, you need to just check into it by either stopping altogether or, like you said, you went and you got a new size and it was revelational. Well, imagine going from nothing to a bra, and then from a well-fitted bra to a non-fitted properly, a too tight bra. I mean, to me, there would be another level of comfort you'd go by getting rid of the bra altogether. But at least get it fitted better, and you'll know it's fitted better because it won't be uncomfortable and it won't leave marks. And don't wear it more than 8-10 hours a day, and you should be okay. And massage your breasts at the end of the day, but you need to take control over your bodies and start exercising empowerment, this is an empowering time. And you asked me in the beginning, why am I so passionate about this? Because it is so simple and so easy to test on yourself as well as scientifically. And yet our culture has just been silent and censoring of this information, suppressing it, lying about it, misinforming, trying to dissuade people from even considering it or trying this. And to me, that has been
Sid, we're at the end of the show, hon. I'm sorry, but we have to go, or I'll be cut off. So I want to thank you for being with us. My guest today is Sid Singer. Please go to his website, brasandbreastcancer.org. Join his study, brafreestudy.org, or join his Facebook page, which is Free the Boobies. Lots to learn. We all appreciate your passion, Sid, for what you're doing and for this important information that you've been sharing with us today. It really gives all of us, men and women alike, a lot to think about with what you have brought to our attention. So we're very grateful. I'm very grateful for the wonderful and committed work you've been doing all these years, Sid. Thanks so much for being with us today.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
And to all of you listening, we got to go, but remember, fill your week with wisdom and always honor the wisdom of your feminine self. Bye for now.